Okay, here we are in game 4, where again we have Mbl and Lyx playing in blue and green. Mbl keeping his color this time. And again, Timotheus in the yellow, and Melkor in the red. And this game, because Mattheus and Timotheus are down 2-1, they had to pick the civs for all players, and in the next game they will swap civs, so they chose to play as the Britons and the Vikings, and on the other side of the map, Mbl and Lyx will be playing as the Goths and the Celts. Now, we did see last time this happened, this Vikings player went for that 5-town center boom into Berserks, while the Britons player was able to pressure with Longbows and hold out long enough for the Vikings player to go get really strong with those Berserks and manage to fight off the Goths. And Mbl saying that he's going to go champs. And looks like Lyx is going to have to decide what he wants to do. As Lyx, immediately looking at his map, his gold's forward, and all of his resources are forward. The only thing that's safe is his stone. That's pretty unfortunate for him. At least he does have 4 deer that are in the back. Says he's versus the Britons. And Mbl, meanwhile, both of his golds are outside. Main gold forward, stone forwards. Looks saying he doesn't want to push. Mbl stones in the back. And on the other side of the map, we see a pretty good map over here for red with his gold and his stone in the back. Both of his golds kind of forward, but at least this one's inside his base. He has an extra gold forward as well. So he's taking his board. Extra gold between the two players as well. Yellow has his resources kind of exposed, but at least they're in the back. Stone forward and gold in a really safe position. So Lyx saying earlier he doesn't want to push as the Celts. Celts in the Castle Age being able to push with either their mangonels or by going for an early castle into Lord Raiders and trying to push, get some rams to go through the walls and some mangonels and go for an aggressive unique unit push. I know Terra likes to do that, but Lyx doesn't seem like he's going to do that. It seems like he's content just to try to play defensively for now. As Mbl using his sheep to hold open his gate, but still the deer are going to be stubborn and walk back as he's trying to push it in with his scout. And there's that tree there near the gate that could mess up the pathing of the deer a bit, but it does run inside. He's going to bring the sheep back for a bit as he keeps trying to push that deer towards his town center. But it looks like he has quite a few idle villagers while he's microing that scout on the deer. And he's just going to kill it with his villagers at the mill. As he's going to add in another lumber camp now. Maybe a bit late adding in that lumber camp. And he's just moving some more villagers over to the berries so that he'll have the villagers there to take the deer as he continues to push them in so they don't have to go all the way to the town center. And he will need to bring the sheep back to his TC now just so he can take the food from it. And that one deer is still outside. Could maybe try to do the trick where you push it through the gate without using a sheep, but that is hard to pull off. And so this one will make it all the way to the town center. Will garrison his villagers and kill underneath the TC. He's putting 3 villagers on gold. You don't need 3 if you're just going to boom, but I don't see him adding in a barracks anywhere. But Lyx will be the first up to feudal on 25 population, so he likely is just going to add in 2 more town centers and try to boom. As he's again doing the thing where he mines 30 gold and then sells 100 wood to click up. And we'll take a look at him. And there we are, 130. Might be sending the villager back. Just to... Nope, isn't going to mine any more gold. Just selling 100 wood and clicking up. So, he not taking any gold. He's just going to boom. And hopefully he doesn't get pressured because we see Lyx here going for stone. He is going to build a castle and probably go for longbows. is, or maybe he will just look to boom then, because he's not taking any gold. He has mined 10 gold, so. Timotheus also went for the build where he mines 10 gold and then sells 100 stone, so he's just going to put down 4 town centers. So we're going to have Britons and Celts both just booming up. And then over here, we have barracks, blacksmith, and stable. So again, we're going to see some scouts from red. Mbl is using the palisade to mark where the wolf is on the map. And Mbl, blacksmith market, so he's probably just booming as well. Although that 3 on gold is pretty curious. And Lyx, now that he's up, putting a town center on his stone in the back, and a town center forward on his gold, putting it on the outside part of his base, so that he can shoot at things outside of his walls and keep his villagers protected. Could even try to add a mining camp somewhere on this side of the gold too, to help the villagers work more efficiently when he adds more villagers to the gold. But as of right now, doesn't need any gold, and will just add in town centers and try to boom. As we see, the relics are pretty much all 4 of them on this side of the map between the 2 players, aside from one which is pretty close to Melkor. And as the other players are reaching castle, Mbl throwing down 2 town centers, one on his gold, one between stone and his wood line. Red still went for the scout, so he'll be the slowest up to castle. But the Britons throwing down 1, 2, 3 town centers immediately. And Mbl putting out that P2 is going scouts again. But only from one stable now is he is immediately throwing down 2 town centers. This villager getting stuck behind the gold mine, not figuring out how to walk around and get to the town center. And there's another extra gold between the 2 players here. So a few scouts from player 2, but I don't know if he's going to be able to do much with them. Lyx certainly wasn't going for a monastery, and neither was Mbl, so Lyx getting a kill on Yellow's scout, but will lose the scout if he's not careful to red. Mbl, that's just a palisade, that's not his scout. And Mbl buying 100 food just to keep his boom going, so he just have a few villagers on gold. Just taking control of the map, making sure that the relics don't get taken by the other players. But his scout's not really being able to do much, and we see him right now really far behind the other players in terms of the villager count. There we go, scout going down. And 3 town centers, but still behind everyone else. And even though he has 4 town centers, he is slightly behind in villagers just because he had to go up later to be able to afford those 4 town centers immediately. And if you look at Lyx, he has a lot of stone, and probably will be looking to add in another town center pretty quickly, as he does have about 20 farmers now. He's getting up to 50 villages. It's around time to start adding in that 4th town center if he wants to go for that. He's starting to stockpile a bit of wood, so he'll probably be doing that soon. I wonder where he'll build it. Maybe somewhere back here to protect that wood line. Even though there isn't quite too much wood there, maybe over here would also be an option. But still, he hasn't been taking gold, and no, he's going to go forward with it. He realizes that the Britons player is just booming, and it's safe for him to come out here and build it on that gold. So he'll have a bit of wood and some gold right there, and also help him secure that relic, as he does have a monastery up, and he is taking the relic. So despite going scouts, they still lost Yellow scouts. Yellow scout weren't able to do anything. Ooh, but that scout can't fight there. The monk needs to heal it, and ooh, getting picked off. That's unfortunate, and now the monk, he is carrying a relic, so he probably will make it back. And yep. Monk using the power of the relic to remove the attack bonus that scouts do against him and stay safe. 2 scouts, not really going to be able to do much to the villagers. Might pick one off if he doesn't decide to fight, but no, don't send the monk back outside. Get that relic in the monastery. And, ooh, these villagers don't have loom though, losing 2 of them. So scouts finally getting something worthwhile, but at this point, 2 villagers aren't the biggest concern, as monk coming in will lose 1 more villager, but might get a convert on a scout here, as another villager going down, but scout getting converted. And there we go. So a bit sloppy by Lyx, not walling in his villagers when building that town center. Let the scouts get to him. And green saying he will go Huskarls on yellow. So it's Huskarls on the Britons player. You know, the last time we saw this, we did see a huge 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 town centers. So we are going to see that 5 town center boom from the Vikings. Probably hasn't taking a bit of stone now, so probably a 5 town center boom into Berserks again. And we will see 5 town centers from the Britons as well, going for a super greedy boom. Mbl says he will be going Huskarls against the Britons, and that's interesting because we know this Vikings player will probably be going for Berserks to counter the Huskarls. And let's see where this wall is, and that is a really big wall across the entire map. So they will be getting super greedy with that wall. And that one single villager, your job, just to build this huge wall across the entire map. Oh, no, a second villager. 2 villagers are going to be walling the entire map. See if that gets up in time, because these players are just booming, so they might get it up without problem. But Bryn's player just now doing wheelbarrow. That is a bit late. He has a lot of farms out already. Probably would have been good to do wheelbarrow a lot earlier. He's at about 91 population. Normally you want to try to get it a lot sooner when you're booming. Of course, it's not a problem for the Vikings because they get it for free. And now they're just Xing that last relic in the middle. And building some lumber camps up here. Like, so going to see that villager and can pick it off right now. And could even pick off that monk too if Red isn't paying attention. But the longbow going to try to team up with the villager to kill the scout, but nope. Villager goes down. Wall isn't going up, just now 1 villager over here trying to build some outposts behind it. But Lyx isn't going to stop the monk from taking the relic. Maybe he'll notice it's gone on the minimap. Maybe he'll notice his monk stopped walking if he was going for it. But if we look at Lyx's point of view, he can't see that the relic's gone, so we should know there's a monk taking it. But single longbow coming forward and gets converted. Nice monk micro there from Lyx, and he's going for rams. Of course, rams are a good option against the Britons to soak up that arrow fire. And he is the Celt, so he will get super strong siege rams. And another town center coming up for Mbl. Looks like this is his 4th. And now 2 siege workshops, some ward raiders for the Celts. And looks like we're getting ward raiders and rams as this wall nowhere near going up as Lyx is starting to move out across the map and push. He's going to be up to the Imperial Age about at 28 minutes and 33 seconds. And now Monk going to get yet another convert. No, the unit's going to die first as another villager is going down. And this wall is not going up. It was super greedy with that wall, and it's not going to stop all of these rams anyway. But another castle coming up on this gold, try to keep that part of the map safe. And Lyx is coming forward to make a siege workshop, building these rams and sending them forward with what he has so far of his army. And Mbl asking if they can petard. Lyx is just Xing the map and saying that he's going there, and that stuff is open. And Mbl selling stone. Just going to do immediately conscription, iron casting, cartography, and we'll see what Mbl is looking at once that cartography upgrade kicks in, he'll be kicking in about 10 seconds as he's sending Huskarls forward, and there you go. And he sees this castle and those longbows, but Huskarls going to force the longbows back as the rams come in, and really not much the Britain player can do to keep that castle up now. He can try to wall behind it, but the rams will be here in the front. The 4 capped rams should be more than enough to take it down, especially with the Huskarls there, also to soak up some arrow fire. This villager still desperately trying to wall, but that's not going up. He even has rams on the inside part of the wall and a castle going up here, and he's just going to build that wall right into Lyx's castle. As this castle starts to be pressured down, and villagers look like they're just going to wall up behind it, but I don't know how long that wall will hold. As we see Melkor now getting up 1, 2, 3 castles. He's just getting up to the Imperial Age, but the Berserks are really expensive units to upgrade, and he's going to need to use that Viking economy to his advantage, as still trying to wall here. Here is Timotheus, but not quite getting it up. The rams are through. The rams are even attacking the villager. No, attacking the wall, or no, going for the villager. We have this ram on villager action. As longbows are forced to retreat inside the wall, and another layer of wall coming up behind for the Britain's player, and he needs to do everything he can right now to hold, as Mbl is putting up more and more barracks. And what is Mbl going to be making from these barracks? Right now, nothing. He's doing Blast Furnace, he's doing Perfusion, getting his upgrades, and now he has the Huskarls in here to kill Yellow. You see he's desperately trying to wall up, but not going to hold out against those siege rams forever. They're huge splash damage. Taking out the walls, trebuchets are coming in, starting to take out these castles. And Yellow isn't going to be holding on much longer, as we see a huge score from our Celts player. He's up to 105 villagers, and again we see this huge boom from Red, going for 145 villagers, streaming out these Berserks across the map, but so much damage has already been done to Yellow that I don't know if he'll be able to hold much longer. Rams and trebuchets taking out his castles. Mbl is able to build his barracks forward and is making Huskarls, but he probably will need to start switching into something else, whether he wants to go into champions or maybe get some archery ranges, do chemistry, and go for hand cannons, because these Berserks will kill the Huskarls. But at this point, I don't know how much Red can do, because Mbl has his barracks here. His production facilities are right there in the middle, and Red's castles are all the way back here. These Berserks have to run over, all the way over the map, and so part of his army is going to be running across the map, whereas Mbl is going to have all of his army in one location to fight. Of course, the Woad Raiders from Blue are also going to have to come up from the bottom. The Elite Woad Raiders versus Elite Berserks. We'll see how that goes down. But the Berserks definitely do have a good advantage versus these Huskarl, but just not enough Berserk there to take the fight. And as they continue to get picked off, their numbers are just going to continue to get smaller and smaller, and we see that bug again. -1, -2 military for Timotheus, as he has to run his villagers, trying to run them all the way across the map, but the Huskarls are there to pick them off. And despite the huge economy, Melkor is still far behind the other 2 players in score. He only has 34 Berserks. That's not enough military to fight this, when the Goths have 51 and the Celts have 40. And trying to put yet another castle forward, but still, there is a hole in this wall, and there's not enough production for him. Let's take a look at his economy. Look at that, he has 2k wood and 2k gold, but still only at 175 population. Doesn't have too many Berserks, and Mbl can just continue running in with these Huskarls. Tank that castle fire, and help out these Woad Raiders as they fight. And now Scorpions coming out from the Celts player. Those will be really good at dealing with the Berserks if you can get a good mass of them. Needs to keep them safe, but yes, I always love seeing Scorpions. Can't run underneath those castles though. But Yellow pretty much nothing left, just one town center that will be cleaned up as soon as some berserks run over there. And it's all up to red right now, but he's getting pushed back. This team doesn't look like they have many options now. These castles, there's so far forward that they're going to be taken out, and there's the GG. They know they can't produce enough to fight this off. And very well executed by Mbl and Lyx again, going for the early Imperial attack, knowing that the Britain player can't fight off Goths, and also will struggle a lot against the Celts. And this greedy 5-town center boom into castles and berserks, just not strong enough, not fast enough to provide the assistance that yellow needed. So if we take a look at the achievements, you see, oh yeah, look at that KD for MBL, those Goths being so strong, and only 21 kills to 121 losses for Timotheus. Really got hit hard by that double team. And we see that huge economy, but again, not able to put it to work. Only 83 kills, and Lyx didn't need to have that many kills, just needed to put the pressure at the right time to make sure that yellow wasn't able to survive long enough to hold out until red got to assist him. And still 146 villagers, 1,000 relic gold, but doesn't really matter. They still end up losing. Mbl and Lyx take the series. They will advance onto the next round. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.